Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Thanksgiving, by the way. Hope you're doing well, maybe enjoying some turkey with your family, in which case I mean you have them in a Zoom call and you're shoving turkey into your mask. Or, maybe like me, you're just sitting around and enjoying some time with your Atari 7800. Whatever the case is, hope you're having a good Thanksgiving. And today we're going to be reviewing an Atari 7800 game. I know, right? Real surprising by the title. And what other perfect game to review other than Food Fight, where you're actually throwing food at people? Maybe not Thanksgiving themed food. If it was turkey, that would be pretty cool. But regardless, it's about food. Thanksgiving is about shoving food down your throat, or at least, I guess, depending on the person. I mean, as you can tell over here, food is the Thanksgiving for me. Thanksgiving is all about food. Anyway, so I'm not sure if any of you guys have actually heard of Food Fight. Atari released it in 1983, the early 80s, but I guess they never decided to release it on their 2600 platform or 5200 platform, probably because of the video game crash, and also the hardware probably couldn't handle all the sprites on screen. But finally, for the Atari 7800, which is an exclusive for that system, or at least of all the third generation consoles, we finally got it. Food Fight for the Atari 7800. Okay, so according to the Food Fight manual, this is the whole story of the game, and it's only one paragraph, by the way. So it's story time. Once there is a fellow named Charlie Chuck. More than anything, Charlie loved to eat. Sound familiar? Her name's not Charlie. So, when he went to the carnival one hot summer day, he headed straight for the food fight contest. Also, according to the manual, he has to battle 4 chefs that come out of manhole covers. They come out of the sewers. Anyway, Angelo, Zorba, Oscar, and Jocks, pretty sure that says Jocks, and they come out of manhole covers. They come out of the sewers to come throw food at you. Alright, honestly, I'm not really sure I believe this. If this is based off a true story, they probably were coming to use him for nefarious purposes, we'll say. We'll keep it family friendly here, but Charlie is in big trouble, and he should probably get in contact with the police. Alright, so we talked about the story, but we gotta get to the game. The game itself is really why you want to play Food Fight, because Food Fight plays, it plays amazing. The 7800 could really work in a whole lot of sprites that the NES, quite frankly, couldn't do until maybe, late in its lifespan. Anyway, the whole goal of the game is to get to your ice cream cone and devour it. Of course, you got the 4 chefs coming after you, and they will destroy you. You need to have food on you 24/7 in case you get cornered, because they are faster, they are stronger, and they probably want to rape you. Alright, so you have a whole ton of weapons that you can use to fight these chefs that are coming to destroy you. First, you got the tomatoes. They go right across the screen super fast, gets right down to the point. You also got these muffins, more of the same thing, pretty much. You got these watermelons that you can throw infinitely. Just spam the crappy 7800 joystick button, just throw them, and gain a ton of points. It's a really good strategy, actually. And finally, you got the parsley. Unless you have a few mental problems, you probably don't want to use the parsley unless you have to. It has a very short range and gives you 0 benefits. The parsley sucks, basically. Alright, well, let's be honest here. You pretty much have to rely on the food in this game. If not, then you are defenseless. You can't combat anything. You will get destroyed in no time flat. because they are way faster than you. And plus, later down the line, they just start throwing all the food that they come in contact with. It honestly becomes like a shoot 'em up at some point, and you're moving so fast around the screen, it gets insane. So, your food is the only defense you have, so you gotta make good use of that food. Just throw it at the chefs. You throw it so hard at them that it breaks all reality, and they phase through the wall and go flying multiple feet at a time, and then they respawn. So, be wary of that too. Alright, so now that we covered the gameplay and the shitty-ass story, we gotta talk about my opinion. After all, this is a review show. This is what I'm here for, to give my opinion on old video games, speaking in a very vulgar fashion. Anyway, my opinion time. Alright, so honestly, this is probably one of my favorite arcade games. Usually, arcade games are they're not too bad, like they don't have many flaws. It all comes down to how much you replay it and just how fun it is, just in general. Just, are you having a good time, or are you just getting frustrated and throwing your controller? I throw my 7800 controller anyway, it's pretty fun. I broke a few of them because they suck, but really, it all comes down to those basic set of options there. And I mean, Food Fight does it brilliantly. I mean, it's good. Like, fun. Got fun. I play it pretty often, too. Not as often as Miss Pac-Man, because Miss Pac-Man is perfect. Miss Pac-Man is the best arcade game of all time. But I come back to this one pretty often. Every once in a while, I'm just like, hey, I want to throw some food at chefs. I want to make them go flying about 20 feet off the screen. Because that's fun, you know? Just throwing food. You're not pulling out a pistol and shooting them in the head. I mean, that's mean. Anyway, Food Fight, I replay it pretty often. The gameplay is really good. There's not much to complain about there. It can get a little hectic, but that isn't even a flaw, actually. That just makes it better. But I don't replay it as much as Burger Time or Miss Pac-Man, unfortunately. But it is up there on one of the better arcade games, especially a home console port. Okay, so I gotta give Food Fight a score because I feel obligated to. I would give it a solid 8. 8.0. It's a really fun game. It just boils down to how it compares to the others, and it does compare to the others very well. Just not quite as good as Burger Time or Miss Pac-Man, or maybe even Lock and Chase or any of those. But it is a very fun game, and honestly, just because like you can only get it on the 7800 in terms of home consoles, or at least pretty much, I would definitely say it's a system seller, up there with Ball Blazer as a system seller, and Miss Pac-Man, of course, because it has a very good home port on the 7800. Anyway, Food Fight, one of the best 7800 games, one of the best games of the 3rd generation. Okay, that might be stretching it. It's probably at least the top 30 though, I'd say, but you know, Nintendo games just like destroy Atari 7800 games. I'm sorry people, it's just true. Anyway, have a good one. Shove turkey down your throat and vomit it up later. Unless you're responsible and you don't like devour everything in your path and you're good about your weight. This is getting off topic. Alright, yeah, see ya.